The stunning islands of Hawaii. Every year, hundreds of people travel there for family vacations, work, or a celebrity getaway. We all know the hot spots: Honolulu, Maui, the big surf breaks. It's an island paradise full of salty bodies bathing in the beautiful scenery. But make no mistake, there is evil there. Lurking in the shade of the palm trees, the stairwells of condos, or quiet jogging tracks, most vacationers worry about losing their luggage, not their lives. Today we're looking at deadly trips to the Tiki Islands. In Hawaii, in the early 1980s, Thomas Garner took the life of a young woman. Shrouded in mystery, this murder would baffle law enforcement and haunt the victim's family for decades. Fortunately, Thomas would eventually be caught, thanks to his DNA being found on a single cigarette butt. Advances in technology have enabled law enforcement officials to re-examine cold cases, providing at least some form of closure to many families. Today, investigators can lift fingerprints, run them through enormous databases, use blood samples to find killers, or match DNA to anyone in the suspect's family. Cold cases from decades past are now being solved thanks to this technology. Hi, and welcome to the Mysterious and Creepy. Today we're going to be covering a 40-year-old cold case that has only recently been solved. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. All right, let's get into it. Thomas Garner, 61, a former naval officer turned dental hygienist who has recently been charged with the murders of two women in the 1980s. Originally from Jacksonville, Florida, Garner trained in Orlando. He had a clean record with no history of violence. Not much more is known about his early life, but we certainly get a glimpse into his later years. The 1980s were defined by turbulence. Full of scandal, murder, and tragedy, society's dark side had truly been revealed. In the U.S., former Beatle John Lennon was assassinated outside his apartment in New York City. Hollywood actor Ronald Reagan was in the White House. In the UK, Prince Charles and Princess Diana had embarked upon what, by all accounts, would prove to be a sad and contentious marriage. The decade is also notable for having one of the highest rates of serial murders in modern history. Police were increasingly faced with a multitude of homicides they simply couldn't solve. Those committed by our killer were certainly no exception. 1982, Honolulu. An otherwise innocent work-related trip for Kathy Hicks would prove to be her last. She was beaten, strangled, then left on a grassy slope. A vibrant young woman, with her whole life ahead of her, was gone. Hicks was from Atlanta and worked at Delta Airlines. Her team was in Hawaii on a company trip, spending their days playing softball and the nights reserved for fun, dancing, and meeting people. Her co-workers stated that she had decided to go out with a man named Tommy after meeting him. Her friends had gone out for dinner while she decided to stay back and have a swim. This would be the last time she would be seen alive. The next day, when they realized she was missing, they filed a missing persons report. However, some joggers later discovered Hicks' body at around 10 a.m. dumped along Nu'uanu Pali Drive. Bodily fluid samples were obtained from Hicks. These samples would prove crucial, as in the future they would provide a preliminary match to Garner, who happened to be stationed in Hawaii from April 1980 to October 1982. However, in 1982, all the police could do was issue a statement about her death, providing witness details of the man with whom she had last been seen. But this only led investigators to a dead end. Ultimately, Kathy Hicks's murder was classified as a cold case, alongside countless victims still searching for justice. A couple of years later, Garner would return to the continental United States. In 1984, Pamela Kahane's life would end in violent tragedy. The beautiful 25-year-old woman was newly enlisted in the Navy. Pamela had dreams of a bigger and better life beyond that of a Minnesota dairy farm. One of 8 children, she had enjoyed a rich and busy life. Yet, despite graduating from basic training 3 months after leaving home, Kahane's never had a chance to see her dreams come true. Just 2 days after her graduation, her lifeless body was discovered in the yard of a vacant home. Pamela was found beaten and strangled to death, her white uniform discarded beside her body. A sample was obtained from her clothing and placed in storage. Her death was now a cold case. There were no leads, no suspects. It would be nearly a decade for the sample taken from Pamela's clothing to be used to create a DNA profile of the suspect. Fast forward to 2018. Thanks to technological advances, the case could now move forward. Investigators could now create a DNA family tree. In 2019, after being entered into the combined DNA index system, the results would then lead them to Garner. Investigators at Seminole County staked out Garner's home and obtained a secondary DNA sample from items he had discarded: a cigarette butt, dental floss, and a cotton swab, all of which matched the DNA from Pamela's clothing in 1984. Much to his shock, Thomas Garner was arrested. He stood trial by a 12-member jury who, in a swift 2-hour deliberation, sentenced Garner to life in prison. During his trial, Garner maintained an air of innocence, claiming he was very promiscuous at the time, stating that if he had casual relations with Kahane, he would not remember, but insisted he did not kill her. Assistant State Attorney Anna Valenti made a statement about the verdict. Pamela Kahane enlisted in the Navy to fight for her country. Instead, she had to fight Thomas Garner for more than 8 minutes, only to lose her life. Going on to say, "We are grateful we were able to win this fight for Pamela and her family. I hope they can rest easier knowing that tomorrow and every day after, Thomas Garner is going to wake up in a jail cell, knowing exactly why he's there." Only 2 months into his life sentence for Kahane's murder, Garner was indicted for a second murder that predated Kahane's. Of course, it was the cold case of Kathy Hicks from Honolulu, 1982. Garner has not yet been convicted for the murder of Kathy Hicks, but the case is being investigated by Hawaiian police. For Kathy's family, we hope the killer is convicted and that they find closure. Either way, Garner will spend the rest of his life in prison. Thanks to the dedicated work of investigators and recent enormous strides in technology, families of victims can finally get justice for their loved ones, and the monsters who commit these crimes can finally be made to face the consequences of their actions. Technology continues to surge in advances, leading investigators to solve more and more cases than previously seemed possible. In February of this year, one of the oldest cold cases involving the brutal assault and murder of a 9-year-old girl was solved as well. Police in Pennsylvania were able to crack the case using genetic genealogy. Although new and improved technology continues to aid law enforcement in various ways, serial killers still pose a threat today, and countless cold cases still remain unsolved. Keep this in mind the next time you decide to spend time with a mysterious stranger. We hope you enjoyed this, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.